I'm not sure who's more excited about this video, me or Cam Skattebo. It's easy to see why Giants fans are so excited about their newest running back. Skattebo is a 4th-round pick that willed himself from an afterthought as a high school recruit to a featured back in the NFL. Sacramento State was the only D1 program to offer Skattebo out of high school, and his breakout year with the program in 2022 led to him transferring to Arizona State, where he became a breakout star and first-team All-American in 2024. Skattebo made ASU history that season by breaking the school's single-season rushing record, while becoming the first player in program history to surpass 2,000 scrimmage yards. But for a lot of more casual college football fans, Skattebo's coming out party didn't happen until the college football playoff. His best game came on the national stage in the college football playoff in the Peach Bowl, trying to almost single-handedly will his team to a win. Skattebo earned Peach Bowl Offensive MVP honors despite the loss with 143 rushing yards, 86 receiving yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, a 2-point conversion, and a 42-yard touchdown pass on a trick play. And he was doing all of this while throwing up on the sideline, becoming an almost overnight cult hero in college football. Skattebo's dense frame, lower center of gravity, and relentless play style led to the Giants taking him in the 4th round. And all I can think about when I'm watching him is that this is just the modern-day version of Mike Alstott. Alstott was a 6-time Pro Bowler and 4-time All-Pro as one of the greatest fullbacks in NFL history, but it was his rushing style that had him become such a cult hero, much like Skattebo today, refusing to go down on the first tackle attempt, and almost defying physics to stay upright through tackle attempts. Skattebo runs almost exactly like Alstott, and once you pay attention to that, it's hard to unsee it. The Giants rookie showed off some of that ability in his breakout performance in Week 3 on Sunday Night Football against the Kansas City Chiefs, running 10 times for 60 yards and a touchdown, while adding another 61 yards on 6 catches. According to PFF data, 3 of Skattebo's runs went for at least 10 yards, while generating 44 yards after contact and forcing 5 missed tackles on those 10 carries. While a pair of Skattebo's runs went for negative yards, 6 of his 10 runs went for 5 yards or more, according to NFL Next Gen Stats. Skattebo could be in line for an even bigger workload in the coming weeks. Starting running back Tyrone Tracy Jr. is expected to miss multiple games with a dislocated shoulder, while Brian Daboll and the staff have decided to roll with starting quarterback Jackson Dart, who will make his first NFL start against the Los Angeles Chargers on Sunday. All of this likely means a heavier dose of Skattebo in Week 4, so let's dive into the film from Sunday Night Football to get a better feel of why he reminds me of Mike Alstott and what the Giants really have in their new featured running back in today's Shades of edition of Best Available. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Also consider becoming a Film Junkies member to get access to bonus videos, my NFL Draft Big Board, and other benefits that come with becoming a member of the channel. With that, why don't we go ahead and dive into Cam Skattebo, the modern Mike Alstott. I always love bowling ball running backs. I think that's the best way to describe what Skattebo is. And this first play, which I believe is his first carry in the game, is a great example of why he embodies that Mike Alstott type of play style. So we have a simple inside zone right, just all these linemen washing all these guys down. No one's able to pick up Nick Bolton here. So Nick Bolton scrapes over, but what I love here, Skattebo's lowering his pads. Bolton does a great job of lowering his pads more. There's not another running back, it feels like, that's as dense as Skattebo right now, because he just bounces off that tackle attempt like it is nothing, and then he takes off, scampers for an 11-yard gain. Now, after this, is he the fastest guy? Absolutely not. Does he have the contact balance and, feel for breaking tackles? Absolutely. And those yards after contact really add up. And it's such a fun play to watch because this is the stuff Mike Alstott used to do at the NFL level. It was I will say Skattebo was much more athletic. That's why he's the modern version of Alstott. But yeah, even like Alstott, there are all these plays where he was dead to rights that he could just bounce off of and keep taking off. And that's how Skattebo gets this nice 11-yard gain. Another example of Skattebo just being able to break tackles. I don't love what the camera person did on this all-22 clip. Makes it a little funky. But another example of Skattebo just brushing off, arm tackle, weaker tackle attempts. We just got an outside zone We got a couple guys climbing to the second level, so we've got a crease right here. Skattebo sees it, so he's just going to take off. Again, the camera just is following Russ for some reason. What I don't like is this. He sheds off that tackle, and then he starts running backwards. Like, it's kind of impressive that he's able to do that at full sprint. Kind of dangerous. No matter how good my running back is at avoiding tackles, like, he's not going to Saquon hurdle backwards this guy. This can be really dangerous for a running back. If you don't know where you're going and you're running backwards, he's lucky this guy went low. You can get really punished here. I remember a guy tried running backwards in a game I was at and just got speared in the back and bruised his kidney. So this is a really dangerous spot to be in. Like, I appreciate that he can break tackles and squeeze through here. We got to clean that up because that, it can be straight up dangerous. You want to talk about being reminded of Mike Alstott in the late 90s, early 2000s. This formation gives me those vibes with a modern twist. We've got a full house or T formation just with Russ in the pistol, but we've got two tight ends and then Skattebo in the backfield. So that's where you get the T, right? But in the pistol, just really interesting formation. I love this utilization because, Skattebo is a power back. This is the kind of stuff we want to see. Curious to see if they do more of this with Dart in there, because then I think there's some, tight end slice or different ways the tight ends can leak out. You can utilize Dart as a runner. There's a lot of fun concepts that are possible here, but we just got these two tight ends inserting, and then Skattebo is going to find a crease. That's pretty good vision to find that open hole. Nice job by this guy peeling off to climb or peeling off to seal this. So then we actually have a legitimate rushing lane. Skattebo is going to run through it. He's going to shake off a tackle, and then he's going to fall forward for extra yards. It's a big gain. I really like the formation. Stuff like this, if you're not prepared for it on film for a defense, run fits get that much harder because you've got two insert guys that can go anywhere. That puts a lot of stress on these linebackers because, you're one of key guards, but you have so many guys in the backfield. You can do so much eye candy with these guys crossing, going the same way. Maybe you can orbit around. You could do some pistol Georgia Tech style where one of these guys goes in motion. You can read and maybe do a speed option. There's a lot of different stuff you can do here. So it makes run defense and fits a lot harder for a defense. Like the concept, it fits Skattebo's running style. It does bring me back to, I know the Packers used to run a lot of full house with Brett Favre back in the day from under center. A lot of fun stuff about this play, and it is a nice gain for Skattebo. There is a lot to love about Skattebo's game, but something I don't love is that I think he's trying to be more elusive and faster than he is, or not being self-aware of his play style. This is a guy that should be a downhill bruiser back. I don't understand what he's doing here. Yes, we have a free rushing linebacker right here. This is about to get picked up by this lineman. You can see his eyes are turned. He's going to pick that up. Why is Skattebo cutting back into the linebacker? If he's just waiting and being patient, maybe we have here, we can fall forward here. There's a couple gaps. Maybe we can even bounce this outside. I don't understand the cutback here into the linebacker. That's like a vision problem to me. Maybe an over-reliance on cutting back because it was working early on in the game, but I really don't understand that here. We have some seals to get 3, 4, 5 yards. Instead, we're in the backfield. Like, this tackle for loss to me is 100% on Skattebo. I don't understand what he's thinking on the cutback. I think that was something he was guilty of in college too, but a lot of the programs they were facing just did not have defenders that could bring him down, so he got away with it a lot. In a situation like this, man, like, just take what you can get. Don't get the cutback right away. Just not an advisable decision. We got a lot of pass catching utilization from Skattebo in this game, which I love to see. And I went back and went like, did Mike Alstott have a lot of receiving, workload in his NFL career? Did you know that Mike Alstott had 65 catches as a rookie? That blows my mind for a fullback. And he finished with, a ton. I think it was 300 catches in his career. So that is another, I was surprised to find out that was another correlation between Skattebo and Alstott. But Skattebo absolutely has a lot of that utilization at his disposal. So here we go. We're starting in Pass Pro here with Skattebo. It appears like this is supposed to be designed to be a delayed release because Skattebo eventually does let go. Bolton goes. Russell wasn't scrambling. But I love the improv here. We're losing this block, so I don't know if we were intending to delayed release, but, he is letting go free, and Russ is seeing the free rusher. And just that off-script ability to get it to Skattebo in space. And then he's going to lower his pads, fall forward. It's a nice, really big gain on a play that could have been dead to rights if Russ doesn't react to this. Now, I know Russ is benched and this is over, but, I'm sure with Dart and his off-script ability, which is absolutely there, we could see some plays like this. I just really enjoyed this play. It's a great example of two guys being, having the same chemistry, being on the same wavelength, being ready for a play like this. Really nice off-script play for a big game. We talked about that over-eagerness a couple clips ago about Skattebo wanting to cut back very quickly. The reason he scores this touchdown here is because he's patient. And I think when you get that feel of when to cut as a running back, that's when you can be really special. So we've got a split zone with, an orbit motion coming around the backside. Not even a motion, just post-snap. But what I like here, he's getting downhill. He sees the gap. He's waiting for this block to develop. As soon as Chris Jones commits to one side of the lineman, that's when Skattebo realizes he's going to have to flip over to even get to Skattebo. So nice job cutting that back. And then great effort afterwards to get tripped up, keep your feet moving at all times to dive into the end zone for a touchdown. Balance isn't always breaking tackles. Sometimes it's just picking up those extra yards when you are tripped up. And this is a great example of that. So again, I love the patience here. He's going downhill. Now cut it. Great job there. And then falling forward, getting those couple extra steps in while falling. Let's see by the time he gets tripped up, let's see if we can count it. Here, 1, 2, maybe 2 or 3. But those extra 2 or 3 steps are enough to get into the end zone. Great play. This is the kind of patience he needs to be an even more effective back at the NFL level. We got to see that patience again on this play. We have a GT counter, right? So we have a guard pulling here and then a tackle climbing. We've talked about that in a few other episodes. GT counter can be really effective. And we're using that eye candy of the tight end coming across the formation to make it look like split zone. So again, Skattebo, after early in the game, could have just wanted to take off, but instead he waits for these blocks to develop. He stays right behind the tackle, lets him climb. Then you can see when he gears up. I love that patience right there. Again, at the handoff, watch how slow and patient he's being. As soon as that block gets picked up, he's taking off downfield, and it's a really nice run. And that's a nice job by 72, creating some flow, getting that block up to the second level and sealing it off. This is a really well blocked up play, which I won't lie, after watching the film on this game, Giants O-line is not awesome. I don't mean to be mean about it, but man, plays like this, great job of the Giants O-line and great patience from Skattebo. That's how we get that play. Love how this was blocked up. I'm so mad at how long I had to wait for some pass pro from Skattebo because I know he's got it in him. I know he's got some mean streak, but the Giants really want to get him out as a receiver in space. Not a lot of delayed releases outside of that off-script play. They really just wanted to use him as a pass catcher, but I really think he can be a huge asset, especially if he gets bought into it and they utilize him a lot as a pass blocker. This is a great example of that on a chip release against the pass rusher. So you can see, look how low he's going. He is going for violence on this chip, and boy, does it work out. He just completely trips up that edge rusher. That is a phenomenal play. You can see the impact, too. His head snapped back. I love that. I want more of that from Skattebo. He had a couple pass pro reps in here, and they weren't the best. I think they were more passive. The technique wasn't there. But we know he has the want to. And if we can get that kind of buy-in at all times from pass pro and he keep working on the technique of it, he can be such a reliable part to keep his quarterback upright regardless of who it is. I want to see more of that. I understand he brings value as a pass catcher, and he is a real weapon in this offense, but there's going to be times where they got to have long developing plays downfield, and he's going to need to stay in there to help with that. And maybe you can have him on delayed releases, but teams are going to start sending the house against a rookie quarterback in dart. He's got to be able to be an effective pass protector. So fingers crossed on that. I really, really want to see that from Skattebo in the coming weeks. Last one here is pretty simple. It's just Skattebo getting skinny right here. I like this tiny gap. He sees it. He could go for green grass, but you've got this guy waiting to deplete him. Instead, he's just taking, straight ahead, lower the pads. And what I like after getting skinny is that he's moving the pile. We're at maybe, we'll say this yard line, maybe this yard line. And then we're going forward another 5 yards. We're right here. Like, that's what we talk about when we talk about moving the pile forward, which is, again, another thing Mike Alstott excelled at was, sometimes he'd break them out, but even if he's not, those extra 4, 5, 6 yards after contact really add up in the context of an offense. We are pro first downs on this channel, and this is the kind of stuff that helps move the chains consistently. I just love the effort here. Like, you got to get skinny in here. You almost leave your feet, but by keeping that forward momentum and then resetting your feet and keeping them moving, that's how you're going to keep generating positive yards. Obviously, everyone's so excited about Skattebo's running style. It is one of those old school, psychotic running backs. But I think what I'm excited about is it feels like he hasn't scratched the surface of what he can really be. Those cutbacks need to be cut down. He needs to get more consistent in pass pro as far as being utilized more as well. But he's just clearly such a weapon. I'm really excited to see how he fits and gels with Jackson Dart. I know Dart has some ability as well. It's going to force teams to respect the QB keep, which is going to open up things for Skattebo. There's just a lot of pieces I like about his game that are going to keep getting better. Let me know what you think about Skattebo. Is my comp fair with him on Alstott? I think we're going to start doing weekly shades of videos going forward. I like this concept, comparing a current NFL player to a former one or maybe an established veteran. If you like the concept or have ideas for future players, let me know. Until then, we'll be back on Friday. TBD what we're going to work on. Maybe we'll do a Thursday night recap on a player or an NFL draft prospect. All kinds of options. That's the beauty of this channel. But thank you so much for watching. We'll be back on Friday. Take care.